My first experience with organized sports was playing for the Peck Park Giants. Playing at Peck Park was something. I mean, it wasn't just about going to your game and going home. It was an event. It was an all-day event. Families would picnic all day, not just to see their kids play, but to watch other kids play. And down by the Dimes in Peck Park was packed. And it was no different during the week. During the week, up at the top part of the park where Western is, there were teams practicing all across that open area. I mean, sometimes it was even hard to find a spot. If you couldn't find a spot, you pick a small little corner and you work on, small ball or bunting or grounders or whatever. But Peck Park was, big memories for me. So back then, when I played on the Peck Park Giants, I played on this team for 5 years. There was like 5 of us that played together for 5 years. It was myself, Ronnie Barber, who I think was the best athlete growing up with. I had the honor to play with him. Andy Birch, Jeff Meneghino, and Mike DeGucci. And so I played with them, and players came and went, but we were always together. And I remember my first year, if I remember correctly, we lost every game. And even our uniforms were horrible. They were these great jerseys, orange writing, Giants, button down. Felt like we were in 1940s or something. But, and we persevered. The next year, we worked harder, had some new uniforms, The coaches, my coaches were Sonny Brucelis, Ron Brucelis, Joe Brucelis, Dominic Costa, and Pete Milani were the main guys. And we had other help from, Mr. Birch, Andy's mom, Betty, was our team mom, Mr. Meneghino and others. But our second year, Sonny made sure to get us new uniforms. So we had these white uniforms. In cursive, it said Giants, the hat with a cursive G on it. So one thing I remember about being on that team is my coach, Sonny Brucelis, would give out nicknames. And this one day we were waiting up at the park. It was in between the administrative building, and back then they had a rocket ship. And the rocket ship was where kids would play and slide down. Today, I think there's a jungle gym there. But we were sitting on this patch of grass, and Sonny started handing out nicknames. And so, he went to Andy Birch and said, "You're going to be Penguin," because he kind of ran like a penguin. Richard Tarpley, when he stood on first base, and he was so skinny, he looked like a wishbone, so he called him Wishbone. And I was Yogi. I think Sonny wanted me to be a catcher and wanted me to be like Yogi Berra, right? The problem was every time I went behind the plate to catch, I would turn my head when the batter swung. So the nickname stuck, but I ended up playing the outfield. And I was a pretty good outfielder. I couldn't really hit the ball. Coaches today would say, yeah, Yogi really couldn't hit the ball. He could steal some bases, but he could run down a fly ball and throw guys out at the plate. So on this one game, it's a big game. It's in our third year. We may have been playing the Mets. I can't recall, but I do remember that we had runners at first and second, and it was a big game. The place was packed. It may have even been a playoff game. The bleachers were packed. The whole third base line was full of people sitting watching this game. And I remember Sonny yelling the play to us. "You guys are coming home if it's hit in the outfield. Yog, you're coming home if it's hit to you." We're like, okay, we got it. Sure enough, next pitch, right up the middle to me. And I remember the runner taking off at second as I'm running towards that ball, and Sonny's yelling, "Yogi, throw it home." And, me and Andy Birch were like a heck of a combination. And so I got that ball on the run, and I threw it to Andy. It did not even bounce. Went right in his glove. He tagged the guy out. I could still see everybody going crazy. And so I think about those memories. I get a little emotional thinking about it because I think I was probably 10. And that memory is still vivid with me today. So the Giants was a real memorable time for me. And I still stay in touch with the guys today. And the beauty is we ended up winning that year the minor league championship. And then the next 2 years, we advanced into the major division, and we won both years in the major division. So we three-peated before it was even a thing. So those are my best memories as a kid growing up in San Pedro.